Only a top 5 receiver in the game, but maybe top 5 player, period, in the NFL. The Giants went 1-3 in the final games of the season when Beckham was out with an injury. So we're joined again here in the studio by Jason McIntyre. You don't say anything crazy about my Giants.
I'm gonna start. I'm almost close to calling you Jason Wackatire.
Oh, Jason Wackatire.
Well, I've got nice things to say about wide receivers right now. So.
Do you think the Giants should move on from Odell?
I do, Jamie. I'm sorry. I know you're a big Giants fan. You know, it's funny. Before the playoffs, everybody looked and said, you know, the 5 highest paid quarterbacks, none of them made the postseason. And nobody looked at the wide receivers. Of the top 5 wide receivers, highest paid guys, one of them made the playoffs. Okay? I know Greg Jennings. Well, I'm about to tell you. Greg Jennings, a great wide receiver. We were watching his Super Bowl highlights together one time in the dressing room. Guy's a superstar. I love wide receivers. They're important. Julian Edelman, 53rd highest paid wide receiver in the league. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
He is not even out. He can't carry Odell Beckham's sneakers to practice.
He doesn't need to because Odell Beckham
is
too expensive. And there's a reason that nobody in the Giants organization, Jamie, has come out and said, not true, we're keeping Odell. Because they're looking to ship him out of town. This is a guy, phenomenal player. His teammates love him. They do not need to spend 11% of their salary cap on Odell Beckham. It's just not attainable. And, Greg, I believe that the 49ers will be in play, several teams. You do not need to pay Odell Beckham. They can build around Saquon Barkley, which is what the GM, Dave Gettleman, does. He did it in Carolina when he shipped Steve Smith out of town. 2 years later, behind a ground game, they were in the Super Bowl.
Did they win it?
They did not. They lost the Super Bowl to the Broncos. I think they should trade Odell Beckham.
If you're saying solely because he makes so much money, that's a different situation. He's earned that money. So, I mean, and they decided to pay him that. He earns that. That's what he gets. But they are not better without Odell Beckham. They need Odell Beckham on the field, specifically offensively. Let's just keep it on one side of the ball. And I'm going to use one of Chris's. I'm going to give you some facts. With Odell Beckham on the field, they're 21-26. Still not a great team. Without him, they're 6-15. They're a terrible team. When you look at Eli Manning and his numbers and his with Odell and without Odell, like let's look at this. Before OBJ, 58% completion percentage. With OBJ, he's 67%. Without him in passing, only averaged about 230 yards. With him, he's 30 yards better, 260. With touchdowns is ridiculous. 241, 179 touchdown to interception ratio without that's without Odell. With Odell, 132 to 69. Like, these numbers don't lie. Odell Beckham makes Eli Manning in that offense a lot better. There is no way around it. I don't care what argument you pose. Just because his numbers have allowed him to earn the money that he's making, you want to say, oh, they pay him too much money, ship him out? That's a whole nother conversation. If you're saying, you know, because they're spending too much money and he's taking up too much of the cap, then you should look to move him. But to say that they don't need him, they're better without him, that is absolutely false.
So just to recap, they're under 500 with him and without him.
Yes, because it's still a team game. Right. It's still a team game. Yeah. I'm not saying that he changes the game and he can do everything, because you still need an offensive line. You still need a defense to stop somebody.
They don't have either of those.
You still need a quarterback that can get you I'm sorry, Jamie. You still need a quarterback that can get him the ball so that he can be
effective. So they need a lot of stuff, so get him out and get guys in there instead of paying him $20 million.
Greg's right on the money. Just stop it. Look, like you said, if they want to trade him for financial reasons, that's one thing. But they signed him. They knew everything you said. They knew when they signed him to that big deal. And Dave Gettleman has come out time and time again and said, we didn't sign him to trade him.
Yes.
All right, you knew the situation. He's the only thing keeping Eli Manning on serviceable. And you gave the numbers, which was great. We saw the difference that a great receiver can make in Dallas. Without Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott looked horrible. With Amari Cooper, they look great. What the Giants need to be focused on is getting another quarterback. And if Eli starts this year, fine. But you got to get the guy for 2 years from now at least, if not this year. And that guy, whether it's Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray, or somebody else, he will be much better if he's got OBJ there. And to have a running back like Saquon Barkley, if you get a really good quarterback in there, now you've got something on the offensive side of the ball. Don't blame their poor record on OBJ, because no receiver, no matter how good, can totally turn a team around.
The Cowboys example is perfect because you said they have an offensive line and they have a defense. Defense was top 10. The Giants have neither of those, Chris.
Well,
they
trading
OBJ
isn't the only
way. It frees up cap room to go after
so now,
you're going to need some receivers.
So basically what you're saying is
possession receiver.
Basically what you're saying is if you're a great player, you just don't take a lot of money.
Right. No, I'm not saying that.
That is.
No, what if it were? Well,
Amari Cooper. You think Amari Cooper's going to say?
He's not taking up 11% of the Cowboys' cap, Greg.
Not yet.
But that's not.
Okay, so we'll see what happens.
How was that OBJ's thing? They knew when they sat down and made the contract what it was to be able to hold on to a player of his caliber. Greg is right. He's earned that money. They didn't give it to him because they liked him. They gave it to him because they looked at everything. And the other thing
is that his fault?
He keeps getting hurt.
That's really his fault.
But he is a great player.
No doubt about it.
And you need to stop this whole money thing that you always want to attach to people. So when things go bad, you look and go, well, because he makes too much money, and if they do well, nobody ever brings up the money.
Right.
It's only it's a knee-jerk reaction just because things. You're not looking at the entire Giants roster and saying, Eli's bad. The defense is bad.
Yes.
There's other things.
But it's
great. Not OBJ. That's not the reason they're bad.
He is taking up 11% of their salary cap. He's making $20 million.
There's been other players who have played well.
So they couldn't
pay the receivers the most.
They couldn't do this.
Make the playoffs.
Odell just started making this money.
Yes.
They couldn't make moves before then.
Well, if you remember last year, Adam Schefter had a report. Odell Beckham will be traded before the draft. They toyed with this idea last year. Then they didn't trade him. Now, here we are again. Jay Glazer with the rumors. Time to trade Odell. I'm telling you, look at Gettleman, the GM. Look at his history, okay? He goes to Carolina after 1 year, ships Steve Smith out of town, the great receiver, okay? Steve Smith was angry. 2 years later, with a ground game, they were second in the league in rushing. They go to the Super
then
Bowl.
the next year, what were they?
Well, they were 10th in the league in rushing.
Whatever. I mean, come on, that was 1 year. They've been like a roller coaster.
Up and down.
And it's a different NFL, too. Even since then, you know it's a little bit different now.
He's 67 years old. Gettleman's old school. He turned 68 later this month. He is old school. He's defense and running. That's what he wants to do, okay? Well, I'm just telling you, that's the Giants game.
Are the Giants better without Odell Beckham?
I got to see what they do with the money.
Are the Giants better without Odell Beckham?
I think they can be, yes.
Are the Giants better without Odell Beckham?
I would rather build around Saquon Barkley than Odell Beckham.
You gave 3 non-answers, so that's enough.
That's until Saquon Barkley outplays this contract, and then he's taking up 11.
How about the money Eli? How about the money Eli's taking up? And then if you had drafted a young quarterback last year, your quarterback wouldn't be taking up all that.
I would have done that. I agree with you. I don't think Eli Manning.
But let's put it on OBJ.
I'm not putting it on him. I'm just saying
yes, you
don't pay this guy $20 million when you don't have a defense and an offensive line.
Why is that his fault?
Let's think about where Odell might fit in, because there's been some rumors out there already of different teams. What do you think? Where would be a good fit for him?
Got to look at the Cleveland Browns, okay? They've got a quarterback on the rookie deal. His best buddy, Jarvis Landry from LSU, is on Cleveland. This is a team that has, I think, the third most salary cap room after the Colts and Jets. They can afford Odell. You got Odell, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield. That's an offense all under 28 years old.
What are they going to give the Giants?
Draft picks. They got a ton of them. Draft picks, give them an offensive lineman. Maybe the Giants bite. Cleveland's 33-1 to win the Super Bowl now. Just saying, if they can get Odell Beckham, that team could do some damage.
I mean, I almost. Is that why you wore the burnt orange?
I'm trying to envision Odell in a.
I mean, honestly, Jay, I think to answer your question, he would fit in anywhere they need a receiver.
Absolutely.
San Francisco, like the dude is fantastic. Now I get the colorful personality and all that, but like you said yesterday, he didn't have that many off the court field issues this season.
No, and it's about his talent. I just think people get caught up on money And so every time something goes wrong, they just go straight to that. Oh, he's the problem because he takes up so much money.
Somebody's going to make some
Yes, people are making money. Huh? Nobody was saying what Eli's makes a ton of money. He probably should have been run out of town, but you don't do that. You know why? Because you still need a quarterback.
Hey, the Jets are going to be better than your Giants.
You're, again, smoking. What did you do before you came in here this morning?
One last thing really quick.
Yes.
You know, in football, when these general managers have these players sign this contract, they know that guys can potentially get hurt and not play. Right. So they still offer them the money.
Right.
Did you know
Isn't
that?
that unbelievable?
Jason, thanks for stopping by and breaking